Hello there. We all know colonialism, a historic power play when one nation takes over another, is like a giant chess game on the world stage. We're all aware of British imperialism in the Indian subcontinent, the advent of East India Company for trade, and then the rest is history. A similar example would be French colonialism in Africa. Back in 17th century, France was setting up shops along the African coast, not for beach vacations, but to trade slaves and precious stuff like gold and ivory. Now, isn't this a dreadful picture? Recently, the toppling of Bazoum, also the military junta in Niger, a former French colony, has leveraged anti-French sentiment amongst its population, asking the French ambassador and his troops to leave the country. How the empire rides back has a long timeline. In today's video of Sneak Peek into Global Affairs, we will take a look at Niger's fight against their former French master, the battle for independence, and the challenges Niger faces today in finding its place in the world stage. So let us go back to the 19th century, when French West Africa, a club of 8 African colonies, was born, with Niger being a major star. French colonialism in Niger kicked off in 1899. Since then, folks in Niger staged numerous uprisings, but it took until November 8, 1960, when Niger was finally free and independent. But wait, the French weren't yet ready to say goodbye. They hung around, making deals with the elites and flexing their military muscles. This was called Franco Africa. Now, Niger's history has been like a roller coaster ride, with poverty and political chaos as the main attractions. And there have been multiple coups, 5 ones to be particular, the latest one being in July 26th, led by General Abdurrahman Chiani. These leaders often play the anti-colonial card, but hold on, there's more to it than meets the eye. So what does the coup want? Well, Chiani and his coup, they are shaking things up. They want the French military to hit the road, the French mining companies to pack their bags, and they want to manage their resources themselves. It's like saying, we've got this, thank you. Now they're looking beyond the Western model. Countries like Russia, China, Gulf countries, and even Turkey and India have been making a fair number of investments into Niger. And now they stand as the friend, philosopher, and guide. The world is changing, and Niger wants to explore its options. This obviously makes the West sulky. They believe African countries cannot handle things on their own and that they are not ready for independence. They believe there will be chaos and atrocities if the coup leaders call the shots. While Niger's coup leaders have managed to make international headlines, they are facing tough times ahead. With sanctions knocking on the door, it won't be easy to make people's lives better. Plus, the US and French troops have been in the front line fighting against jihadists, and booting them out could lead to some serious consequences. As of today, the conflict is still ongoing, and the US military has resumed its regular operations after a month-long hiatus. Apart from political ups and downs, looking at it from a humanistic perspective, today there are nearly 4.3 million people in Niger who are in dire need of basic aids like food and medicine, and the numbers are only expected to rise. Plus, following Niger, the military leaders of Gabon has removed President Ali Bongo Ondimba after he again won the elections. In the grand scheme of things, this unrest throughout these African countries exposes 3 truths. First, the shadow of colonialism is fading. Second, there are alternatives to the West. And third and final, that the younger generation is not afraid to leave behind their past, even when they're not sure of their future. So that's all for today. Stay tuned for more such interesting discussions.